Ah! Ah! There we go. Oh, hello, all you YouTuber fuckers. It's I, the world famous marijuana man, here with my sublimator. We're out here in the great white north, and look what we got here. It's the mighty marijuana. Yeah, the good shit. That fucks up thy senses. You know what else we got? The corporate sludge. Some good sludge it is. So we're gonna do some big bong hits. Fuck up some shit. Hope everything's going okay in there. He hasn't been talking much lately. Hope he's doing okay. No. He stopped moving around once I chopped him up. I'm not sure what's up with that, but it is what it is, right? What can you do? You chop people up and they stop moving around. It's just how it is. I don't know why. So there we go. Bong hit time. Fire in the hall. Oh yeah. We'd be fucking the fucking shit right the fuck up. Mm. Just a sec, folks. I'll be right back. Oh, just a sec. Oh, hello, little Insta fuckers. It's happy to see you all join us. We're here on YouTube getting all fucked up. Here in the great, oh fuck. Here in the Great White North. Oh, fucking everything the fuck up, actually. Goddamn fucking thing. Oh, fuck. My heater fell over. We need a heater because it's like minus 400 degrees out here in the Great White North, you know? Oh, fuck. And we're out here in the ice fishing shed catching some narwhal. Normally the ice would be melted by now, but not this year. Who knows? Maybe it'll melt by next spring. You know? Fuck. I think it's actually reforming as we speak. So anyways, let's do a big fat dab. I mean, big fat bong hit. I'm not doing dabs right now. I did one earlier today, though, on Instagram for all the little Insta fuckers out there. Nobody watches those videos, but I post them anyways. You know? Oh, I do. Oh, and I just farted again and again. And I did it just for you. And so here we go. Fire in the hall. Oh, fuck. We gotta wash that little whore down with the corporate sludge. You see the straw I always use? Been using these straws for about 10 years now. Got about 10 of them. They're covered in marijuana leaves. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, la michi mari gohan. It means we're all fucked up. La da 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 da. Oh, fuck. I think we need to do another bong hit. You know? I do. So here we go. Fire in the hall. I don't think there's any way of actually knowing how much THC is in the weed you're currently smoking, right? You know, when they put those numbers on your package, it's complete, utter bullshit, right? 100% bullshit. It's not even, you know, maybe 50-50. No, it's 100% BS. First of all, every bud on the plant will have a different consistency of chemical concoction in them. Oh, they will. Oh, but it don't end there. The minute you pick that bud, the THC levels change day by day per bud, depending on how it's stored and taken care of and so on. Oh, it's true, folks. And then the bud that they test, well, that's been tested. It can't fucking be smoked because it's full of fucking toxic chemicals now they use to test it with. Oh, yeah. And so the whole thing's just a bunch of BS. It's a sales campaign, right? Nothing else. Totally meaningless information. 100% meaningless. Oh, yeah. Oh, my friend Bert, I hadn't seen him in 4 years. We weren't really that close, but he was the only person in that organization that I was actually friends with. So there you go. I mean, most of the people in that organization are scumbag pieces of shit that should be nailed to the fucking wall, disemboweled, and fed to wolves. And then after that, quartered and set ablaze, and their ashes scattered in all four corners of the earth, so that they may never form again. You know what I'm saying? But he was a cool guy. He was. We had lots of fun. We went camping a few times. He used to always take my pictures at all the events. He had this like kick-ass camera and would take like the best pictures. Usually when I'm at 420 or something, and you see all that film work, was either him or EG. Yeah, or when he taking pictures at an event, it was usually him taking pictures of me. Oh yeah. But yeah, what can you do? All good things, folks, they come to an end, right? I hadn't seen him in 4 years, like I said, so it was just a surprise that it happened. It wasn't, I'm not, that too broken up by it being 75% of my friends are already dead, and all my best friends are all long gone and dead. And so, you get used to these things after a while. But that's what happens when you grow old, folks. Not everybody does. Oh, no. And everybody just drops dead. That's what they do. Yeah, just dropping dead. Oh, 'cause my friend Jason had an axe. Blood and gory guts. He buried that thing in people's backs. Blood and gory guts. With a chop chop here and a chop chop there, and here a chop, there a chop, everywhere a chop chop. My friend Jason had an axe. Blood and gory guts. Oh, my friend Jason, he lives no more. Oh, let's forget about that song. Oh yeah, I had my best friend in high school, folks. He died too. Get this, during Christmas holidays. Oh yeah, he got drunk. Not a big surprise. And it wasn't something I would do back then, right? And so I wasn't with him. We usually did hang out and party a lot, but I knew he was going to go drinking and smoking weed, and I wasn't into all that stuff back then. So I was just like, well, I'm going to go somewhere else, and you go do your thing. And but we were big Scorpions fans. He was like a mega Scorpion fan, a little bigger than I was into it, And anyways, he died in a snowbank, frozen to death on December the 24th, the day before Christmas. And then on December the 26th, some people came to my door to let me know he had passed away and invited me to the funeral, which would be December the 31st. Yeah. Well, that's where I started my long-standing tradition, folks, of not attending funerals. The thing about a funeral, folks, is everyone's there except for the person I want to see. Like, I don't give a fuck about those other people. Half of them I don't know, right? Well, almost all of them I don't know, except for the ones who were from the school. And yeah, so I don't do funerals, so I didn't attend the funeral. That'd be the first one I didn't attend, and that would start a long-standing tradition. The original reason I didn't attend that funeral was that, and it was on New Year's Eve, right? And I was just like, what a fucking downer for New Year's Eve, And so I'm like, let's try and start our new year on a happier note. And so the So then I go back to school after the Christmas holidays, and everybody's giving me the evil eye because I didn't show up at the funeral. You know? Oh fuck. I was like, well, I didn't want to see fucking you, you know? Yeah, he was really popular. And I was kind of popular too, but more for insulting people and bashing them over the head with sticks. He was more popular for being nice to people. We were an interesting group. And so I had no interest in seeing all those assholes from school either, you know? Oh, I don't. I have attended one funeral one time, folks. Good old Guy. He was a scumbag. Total bag of shit. And so this funeral wasn't a downer at all. Oh, I was feeling good when I showed up at this funeral. Fuck. I had 2 bottles of champagne. I don't normally drink, folks, but I had already downed 1 bottle, you know, before I even got there. I was having a good day. Drinking, smoking lots of weed. And and when I got there, oh, this piece of shit, you know, he's sitting there in his coffin. I tried to be calm and collective and nice, right? And only whisper horrible things to him. But then I saw his mother, another bag of shit, folks, that the world could do better without. And that should be hung fucking disemboweled and fed to wolves. And it just set me off, right? Then I was just like, oh, the fucking douchebags here, right? I'm like, time to celebrate, and I shake my bottle of champagne. The cork goes flying off. Fizz goes flying everywhere, all over the body and everything. It was really good time. The police had to drag me out of the place, right? And so the cop who had killed him, right? It's a bit of a story here, but he was shot by police. And the cop who killed him dragged me out because he was at the funeral. And in the parking lot, I'm like, dude, you know, I'm normally not a big fan of police, but you've done a mighty public service by removing this piece of shit from society. Not to mention that, have prevented me from going to prison for killing this piece of shit because it was just a matter of time. And so I got to thank you for your good work, you know, and I just have to go in there and say my final words. You don't got to worry. I won't be returning. Hopefully he can shoot up his whole family someday in the near future. His mother is a real piece of work, you know. The world could be a better place without that douchebag. And he was like, yeah, I don't need to hear it. And so he walked back inside and I left. Oh, yeah. Oh, folks, yeah. This guy used to do medical experiments on children without anyone's consent, right? And anyways, he... I was doing a lot of bad things to him, folks, making his life go downhill. And eventually I had set his workplace on fire. You can imagine I didn't like the guy. We had a beef. And I set his workplace on fire. The other 3 scumbags died in the fire. I went to jail for 2 years for that. But he survived horrible 3rd-degree burns. And was in pain until the police shot him a few times. And then so when I got out of jail, I was like, this piece of shit's still alive. No, this can't be happening, right? So I didn't identify myself to the piece of shit the second time around. I just did mysterious things that made him wonder. Like one time I took a picture of his kids at school, taped it to a rock, and threw it through his window in the middle of the night with a note on it saying, you can't be everywhere all the time. And, you know, then his family just wonders, what the fuck's going on? Who is this guy? And then I blew up his car and his driveway, terrorized his employer by smashing the windows with a picture of him on it and a note saying, as long as you employ this piece of garbage, bad things are going to happen around here. Anyways, he got fired. His wife and kids left him, as you can imagine. And I like to think I had a little bit to do with that. And then he went crazy, folks, which, you know, was to be expected. He was already a fucking lunatic. And he grabbed a gun and held some little kids at gunpoint at the bus shelter. And the police had to fill him full of lead. Oh, and that's basically the end of the story. I remember getting the call. I was a totally different person then. Then I got that call. Oh, the war's over. It was like, instant change. Don't have to bother with that anymore. So anyways, it was good times. And you know, folks, even if you don't know his background story, his final moment should say it all, you know? Some piece of shit that holds children up at a bus shelter and has to be taken out by police to secure the children's safety. We are better off with not having pieces of shit like that around, you know? It's common sense. And so it was just an amazing moment. And so that was good times. The scum was gone. The world was a better place. So we're going to grind up some weed here. And then, folks, later on, because I wasn't the only person who hated him, he had a long list of people who didn't like him, right? I see some people and they're like, oh, do you hear what happened to Guy? He got fucking shot up by the police, eh? I'm like, oh, yeah, I heard what happened to him. You hear somebody was terrorizing him before it happened? Yeah, that was fucking me, eh? And now none of them ever talk to me again. They're all like, ooh. And I'm like, hey, if you like the guy so much, clearly we shouldn't be speaking to one another, you know? And so, yeah, all those people I knew back then, I don't speak to any of them. And it's a result of that moment. Oh, fuck. They're all like, really, man? No. How could you do such horrible things? I'm like, really, man? You like the guy or something? Why do you give a fuck? So that's how it is. Gonna do another big bong hit here. Should be a glorious moment in time. Oh yeah, talking about shitty doctors from my childhood, because that's who Guy was. Oh, I got another one for you, folks. Another shitty doctor. Lucky my grandmother was always looking out for me. There was this doctor, right, that was being forced to see through the school board. Oh, fuck, the psychiatrist. And he was giving me these pills, right? And we weren't taking them because my parents were totally against the pills, and my grandmother even more so. And they hated him. We all had a conclusive hate for this scumbag. And I used to literally go into his office and call him scumbag, asshole, piece of shit, smash stuff, cause a fire in the corner, have to be dragged out by security. This was a regular thing. I am like 8 years old at the time too. And so he knows we're not best friends or anything. And so anyways, one day my grandmother takes the pills and she crushes them all up. She's been saving them into a little powder, like 20 of these pills, eh? And then she gives them to me in a little baggie. And she's like, while you're with the doctor, I'm going to call him out to talk to him. And then you can put this shit in his drink. I'm like, oh, good plan. You know, I couldn't come up with good plans like that yet. I was just a little boy. And so I was like, okay, not a problem. A mission I can obtain. And so I go into his office, throwing his books in his bookcase on the ground. And he's like, so Steve, why are you throwing my books on the floor? And I'm like, well, because you're a piece of shit. And he's like, well, Steve, what makes you think I'm a piece of shit? You know? Oh, fuck. And so and so then my grandmother comes to the door and she's like, Dr. Scumbag, can I talk to you in the hall for a minute about Stephen? And he's like, oh, yeah. Since they've never asked to talk to him before, he was all excited to have a conversation with them. And so out the door he went to go talk to my grandmother. And I take the baggie, empty it in his coffee, stir it with my finger, and then I go back to throwing shit on the ground in the corner. He comes in, everything's normal. I'm throwing books from his bookcase on the floor. And he's talking like an idiot, like normal. And then he takes his coffee and he just swigs the whole thing back. It was beautiful, folks. One of those great moments in time. Just swung the whole thing back like it was a shot of something. Oh, fuck. Down the hatch it goes. Oh, so anyways, about 20 minutes go by. And he's like, because this appointment's for like an hour. 20 minutes go by and he's like, you know, Steve, we're going to have to cut our appointment short. And I'm like, well, why is that? I'm enjoying myself so much here. And he's like, well, I'm not feeling too well. And I'm like, oh, you're not feeling too well, eh? How's it feel to be all drugged up on your fucking concoctions? And then he knew right away what had happened, right? And so then he called security to drag me out of there again because I was busy laughing hysterically about the whole thing. I'm telling him, I hope you die. And he's calling an ambulance. And oh, it's a great thing. Anyways, 3 days later, the guy did survive. But then they call us and they go, Dr. Scumbag never wants to see your son again. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, if we thought it was that easy to get rid of this piece of shit, we would have done this a long time ago. You know? Oh, I always like the piece of shit to know who did what they did, you know? I like to take credit for my work. It's the way it's always been. Just like when I was at Guy's funeral. They were all like, you know, somebody has been terrorizing him. That's why he went like this. I'm like, yeah, someone's been terrorizing him, all right? Woohoo! You pieces of shit. And so that's how that is. Oh, I hear people screaming like they're getting stabbed. And so that's how that is. I like to leave the world in a better place than when I showed up, you know? Ah. Ah. La da 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 da. Oh, gonna have another sip of my sludge. Yeah, I used to do the same thing to bad guys in Vancouver, but actual really nasty bad guys. That's why those guys with the gun showed up at my house because I had been terrorizing them and stolen some of their stuff and left a note because, like I say, I always like to take credit for my work. Left a note saying what I had done and where you can come see me. And so they decided to pay a visit, you know, big fucking shocker. Oh, you know? Yeah, and shit happens. Hey, they didn't shoot me though. I was expecting to get shot, really. And so when they didn't shoot me, I was like, oh, fuck. Police told me these guys are super dangerous. But the gun was loaded because they were busted outside my house and the gun was fully loaded. Oh. Other guys who EG beat up one time, they did shoot me in the leg. It's very unfriendly of them. But after that, I sold a whole bunch of fucking video evidence of the pieces of shit that shot me in the leg during all kinds of violent crimes all across the city. And the police were ever so thankful for that information and gave them 4 years in prison for it, which in Canada is a quite long time. Murderers get less time sometimes. So, yeah. But the judge was like, the amount of evidence gathered here is overwhelming. Well, you're allowed to have a gun in Canada. Who told you there are bad laws here? Anybody can have a gun except me. I'm banned from owning firearms for life. But, because I'm a fucking criminal. And criminals shouldn't be allowed to buy guns, right? I think this makes sense. But, anybody else is allowed to buy a gun in Canada. Yep, they are. I have many friends who own guns. Guns are very prevalent here in Canada, especially out of cities. When you're in the Great White North and some of the small towns, everybody's got a gun, even the criminals. Oh, yeah, fuck. It's just part of the lifestyle, you know? And so, that's how it is. Guns per capita are just as popular here in Canada as they are in the United States. They have recently put a ban on some assault rifles. You know, these guns that shoot 90 bullets a second. I know they're a lot of fun. I've handled some of them in Florida. But, yeah, Canada put a ban on these. It's kind of sad and pathetic, you know? Oh, yeah. It doesn't stop the criminal. Fuck, the gangbangers are still fucking shooting people up with AK-47s at the shopping mall in downtown Vancouver and shooting off 400 rounds in a minute and a half, you know? But but yeah, there's a ban for everybody else. On that stuff. It's kind of lame. I have trouble understanding it, you know. But it is what it is. I'm not allowed to have a gun or any explosives, right? So that is what it is. I used to go visit the United States where I could play with lots of guns there, even though I'm not allowed to in Canada, and handle all kinds of explosives. Oh, fuck. Explosives are the best. You know what we used to do? We used to make these model boats, right? Pack them full of explosives. Then we'd ship the boat. It'd be remote control, and we would drive it out into the middle of the pond. And then we would have a stick that has to be hit to ignite the explosives. And then we'd be like, and try and blow up the boat. You don't want to sink it. And so you don't want to actually hit the boat. You just want to hit the igniter, you know? If you hit the boat, you're probably going to sink it. And then that's a waste of explosives. But, which had happened. But when you hit the igniter, well, you have good times. Now in Canada, that stuff's totally illegal. Always has been, folks. And in the States, it's getting more and more strict every year. The last time I was there was quite some time ago, and they were already telling us a pond that we always had used for 15 years to blow things up. They're like, it's inappropriate to be throwing explosives around here now. Yeah, because too many people live around here now. Before, nobody lived here. You could fucking drop a nuclear bomb, nobody'd know. But now, you know. And so, it is what it is. What can you do? And so, yeah. Well, I've never gotten in trouble with law enforcement for using explosives or guns in the States, even though I'm not even an American. And yeah, they're pretty easygoing. You know, when the guy told us in Florida that it was inappropriate to be using explosives, he didn't take the rest of them away or arrest us. He just said you should find a different spot. Yeah. He says you're freaking out the neighbors. Oh, yeah. Oh, the gerbils in what that guy's ass, Richard Gere's ass. Remember, he had to go to the hospital and get the gerbil removed. Oh fuck! Good old Richard Gere. He likes to stick things up his butt. Boogie in your butt. He likes to boogie in the butt. Boogie in the butt. Yeah, there's a guy on Instagram. He says there's common to have gerbils stuck up people's ass. It's not just Richard Gere. A whole group of class of people like somehow get gerbils stuck in their ass. It should be like a show on TV like Aliens, you know? How did these people get gerbils stuck in their ass? We investigate. Oh, yeah. Yeah, couldn't be any worse than the crap that's already on TV, right? Holy man. I see people, they like watch these sitcoms. I mean, the commercials give me fucking PTSD having to witness it for fucking few seconds. Oh my God. I couldn't imagine actually just watching the whole fucking show itself. Mm. Holy man. That was enough, you know? We always try and turn the volume off when the commercials are on. It's like just straight up torture. You know, folks, people aren't as talented as they used to be. You know, there's still some good musicians and stuff, but when it comes to story writing and fucking making movies and films, you know, there's just too many fucking distractions. That's what it is, folks. And, you know, people have all kinds of shit to keep them amused. But back in the old days, folks, there was nothing. No telephone, barely any electricity. You're lucky that if you had fully running plumbing that was in more than 2 rooms of your house. That was pretty impressive. Our house had plumbing only in the kitchen. And so we had a bathtub in the kitchen and everything was in the kitchen. That's how it used to be back in the day. And there was nothing. You know, you had books and that was it. Oh, no distractions at all. And so you could sit and use all your time during the day mastering your craft. But now you got to like schedule so many hours to master your craft, and then another so many hours you spend doing this, and another so many hours you spend doing that, and so on and so on. Oh, yeah. Well, back then they just spent day and night mastering their craft. You know? Oh, it's true. And yeah, people don't do that anymore. It's just not the way people are, you know? We don't make those kinds of people anymore. There's too many interesting things to do, go see, places to go, people to see, things to do. Oh, yeah. So, anyways, we're going to do another big fat bong here. Me and my kids, the only shows we like to watch are shows made basically previous to 1969, 1970, sometimes. All in the Family from the 70s we'll sometimes watch. But my kids now are big into like really old stuff, Buster Keaton and stuff. I never watched a whole lot of it before, but lately we have been. Yeah, you can see these people. Their level of talent just don't exist anymore. Oh, it don't. No, no, no. It's long gone. No one could come up with that shit today. And so it is. Well, I should run, folks. Until next time, peace out.